Good morning, and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Guys, today we are talking about oneness, such an important topic, and how having an attitude, a perspective of oneness, meaning all things being a part of a larger whole, how that may incredibly enhance your productivity. So, thanks for being here. We have a super interesting show planned for you today. If you are new, you can go to productivethroughjoy.com and see about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. A really powerful series of workshops, webinars, seminars, lectures. You can go to the website to see exactly how we do what we do, when we do, as we do, while we do. Um, Again, for those of you who are new, allow me to say a few words about myself. First, this is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher, author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, author of the Pulitzer Prize, author of the acclaimed historical novel Americus, author of the Pulitzer Prize. Let me clear my throat. Author of the Pulitzer Prize nominated Animating Black and Brown Liberation, a Theory of American Literatures. I am the board president of the World Stage, a wonderful nonprofit here in Los Angeles' Crenshaw District. If you ever come to LA, you've got to go to the World Stage. Certainly after COVID allows us to be back in our building. We are live streaming our events now. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergrad, my master's from UCLA, and my PhD in English literature from the University of California at Riverside. Guys, I'm an expert at being productive. I don't say that to brag or boast. I say it because people are oftentimes surprised to hear about this level of productivity, given how crazy my full background is. I am the product of a young woman who was sexually assaulted at age 16, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption to a single divorcee who is and was wonderful, yet at the time, no biological father. No adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD, yet it's cool. Modi famously said, "How you like me now?" Right? And if I can be this productive and be so through joy, we are knowing, believing, and claiming that many people can be productive in their own way, in their own lane. So that really inspires this show because I know it's not where you're from, it's where you're about to go. So thanks for joining us this morning. Let's dive in. As we talk about the concept of oneness, if you know the show, you know that I'm an early riser, and as part of the preparation for these shows, I do some spiritual reading. Essentially, I'm reading Thich Nhat Hanh's first major book, The Miracle of Mindfulness, reading it again. Such a good decision to read that book again. It's really powerful. So the section I was reading today was talking about this really great, with the idea of oneness and the idea of being able to see oneness around us and the interrelated nature of what they call the five aggregates: mind, body, feelings, mind, perception, and consciousness. But the really wonderful device he uses, the metaphor he uses is the metaphor of the table. He says, you look at a table, and what do you see? You look at the table. Do you see the forest that a wooden table that the tree came from? Do you see the carpenter who made the tree? Do you see the iron ore which led to the nails to make the table? Do you see the rain which had to fall to make the forest, make the trees grow to provide the wood for and he makes the point that once you are able to see the oneness, the non-table reality of the table, meaning the forest, the carpenter, the nails, that is when you are able to see what they call the way. So that's a great way to think about this concept of oneness. Wow. And it takes a certain type of vision that has to be cultivated and has to be worked on, like learning a language. If you know languages, You have to kind of cultivate knowing the language, right? Or you'll lose it. And so the point is that, in point one, is that you want to cultivate the ability to see oneness around you, because it can be very difficult, especially during these times with the current occupant of the White House really aggressively fomenting division. Clearly, he's in bed, literally, somehow with Russia. I'm not sure what the situation is there, but for Russia to be able to and other folks be able to sow division through these online bots. I mean, we can go on about it. And for the president not to aggressively say no, or for the Russians to put a bounty on American soldiers, and the president to do nothing, I mean, it's pretty extraordinary. Uh, so something's up there, obviously. That's an obvious situation. But so in these types of divisive times, it's difficult to see oneness. Or if you've had someone do you wrong in your family or in your life, it's hard to see the oneness, to see them as a part of you. However, that is the work. That's the difficult work, and that's the work I'm certainly on right now. Um, the idea of being able to see the one despite various factors trying to get us to see ourselves as separate from each other and separate from other entities. Um, it's a challenge. Well, so point one is you want to develop a facility with seeing the one. Well, how do you do that? Well, if you know this show, we know we talk a lot about meditation, yoga, other types of spiritual modalities, um, mindfulness, mindful breathing. These are all techniques that, as you reach out to us, will help to develop a plan for you. But these techniques, when practiced, and that's the key, you have to practice it, because even a few days, I know for me personally, even a few days of not being on my game, like everyone else, I'm impacted by what's happening in the world, of course. So it becomes overwhelming. I don't want to see oneness. I want to see some get back, some revenge, like James Brown says. I want revenge. I need some get back. As a sidebar, you ever listen to like old James Brown? When James Brown was a young man in those early bands, those bands were just fire, spit hot fire. Uh, man, but I was a weird James Brown. Give me some get back. But James Brown talked about in his classic song, "The Big Payback." Dun, dun, dun. It's amazing. And what we oftentimes want to do is be involved in the big payback. Someone does us wrong. Someone occupies the White House that does the country wrong. Someone shooting, lynching, killing black people. Listen, I get it. You want revenge. And I don't want to get too deep into that conversation, but other than to say that it's just hard to have a one love attitude when people are killing black people. So, but that's the work that I am encouraging us to do on this show. There's that, right? Through those types of modalities, right? Which goes into point three. As you do this, really, it's simple but not easy work. Simple meaning that you get up, you get help in developing a program, you practice the program, you repeat it every day, you keep it fresh. As we say in the meditation world, you meditate like it's the first time. You keep your first mind, your first time attitude. You keep your brand new attitude as if it's your first times, your new experience attitude. Like it's your first time meditating, your first time being at a protest, your first time seeking justice in some way. When you can keep that thing fresh, it just allows you to do the work without getting bitter or for it to be a burden, because justice work, the work of one love and oneness, should never be a burden. It should be a joy, but it can easily become a burden if you don't find creative ways to make it fresh and new, right? Having that beginner's mind, as they say in the meditative world. And so I wanted to mention that because as you begin to maintain that attitude, the natural outgrowth is joy. I was thinking about that this morning. I might get up really early in the morning, getting ready for the show, but also just getting ready for my day. And I had been in kind of a rut, a rut for me anyway, just because this is a pretty challenging schedule that I have right now. So it's pretty easy to be like, woo, I do not feel like getting up this morning. I felt that many, many, many mornings, right? It can be, it's a labor intensive, arduous thing to, live this lifestyle. And not just for me, but for other people who are on a similar path, right? And so the thing is, you want to find creative ways to keep it focused on what a blessing it is, what a joy it is to, seek justice and abundance and be about your purpose, handle your business, take care of your family. Those are beautiful things. And as an important sidebar, you want to keep the why nearby. I like that. I'm rhyming today. Keep your why nearby. Why are you getting up so early? Why are you working so hard for your own family? Why are you doing your own life? You know, maybe you have children. Maybe you have a passion to help the world. You want to find again creative ways to keep that around you, right? So in my world, I have pictures of my family. As you see behind me, also some of my ancestors behind me, folks who come before me. Just seeing these pictures around my house, it really helps me to keep in mind why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm getting up so early, working so hard, doing the things that I do, because it takes that to really keep it fresh. As you do that, I guarantee, watch your level of productivity skyrocket. That's a guarantee. This is just science. This is not just my opinion. It's not just me. I mean, you can do it as well, but it does take the work. So that we've outlined today. But reach out. We'll tell you more. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces. I'm out.